Ludovico Varthema. हैरम जनाना में लोग कैसे रहते हैं? What is after politics? Et al. Et al. Means like that. The travelers who came to Vijayanagar and what they mentioned is very important. एक और लिख लो, इतना लिखा है, एक और लिखो. Ma Huan Cheng Ho, China. Both came 5 times. हाँ बेटा, one was the captain, the other was the colonel. They came together. They were homosexuals. 9 is Ma Huan and Cheng Ho, Chinese. Came India 5 times. Done? Portuguese company, Estado da India. All right. Goa, Cochin, Calicut, Chittagong, Bassein, Salsette, Bombay. These are the ports, even Diu and Daman, that they had with them. Number 2 is Dutch. Dutch called themselves VOC. Masulipatam. That is their most important port. Apart from that, their main center was in Java. Number 3 is English East India Company, EIC. They had Bombay as a dowry They had brooch on rent. Then they had Bengal, Chittagaon, Madras. Every port is important for them. Surat. Number 4 is French. French had Pondicherry, Chandan Nagar, two most important ports that they had. Number 5 is Danes. Danes had Tranquebar. Tranquebar is today's Travancore. अच्छा, फ्रेंच में एक और पौंडीचेरी लिख लिया, ठीक. Tranquebar, Karaikal, and Andamans. That is how they had their ports in India. जी प्रभु, VOC मत लिखो, VOC लिखो. Venigrade, Ostensienie, Indostenie, Compene. The companies and their ports. Is there any trick to learn this? Yes. Read it every day. That is the only way. See, what I do is, see, I am not writing the exam, so I have a notebook here that I have opened. So I look, then I write. But I don't share my notebook with anybody. Nah. I'm that student of your school, roll number something something, who would never give you your homework or classwork. But VOC mat likh, VOC likh. Just write VOC, Babu. It is very difficult. Done. Earnings. Portuguese. A. Carter's system issued tickets to use the ocean. If you want to use the ocean, you have to buy a ticket from them. If you don't buy it from them, they will not let you take your ship in the ocean. There is only one exception. There's only one exception that did not pay the tax. I mean, they did not take the cartage. That is a ship called Ilahi. It was a Hajj ship docked at Surat. That is why Surat is called gateway to Mecca. It's a Mughal ship. Akbar owned it in the Akbar's time period. A ship called Ilahi docked at Surat did not pay cartage. Number 2, Zendi. From here comes the word Shendi, Mumbaikars. It was exactly like Jazia because it was levied on the non-Christian population. living in India. That is how Portuguese earned. Number 2, East India Company. A, Diwani rights. Number 2, Dastak, that is exemption from toll/road tax. British never paid Rahdari. Custom duty they never paid. Now comes number 3, rest, which actually includes the private merchants, private Indian merchants. They earned through only one process, that was insurance. Insurance is called avog or avag. The Indian private merchants sold insurance for those people who were sending their items through the ocean route. That is the earning process. That is how they earned. Done? Simple. EIC is East India Company. VOC is Dutch company. VOC अभी बताया ना, Venegrade Estonia Ostensenia Company. लिख लो. क्या करोगे जान के सब? यूपीएससी करने आए हो ना, करो निकलो. यूपीएससी they will not ask you full forms. अवग, it's a name. अवग, तुम्हारा नाम राम हो सकता है भाई, वो अपना नाम न रखें. Avag, avog is the insurance that the Indian merchants sold to those people who want to trade through the oceanic route. Simple. Don't worry, it is not a short form, it is a name. Avag. Theek. Now we come to the hardest part. All right. North, south. DS is not Sheila Dikshit, it is Delhi Sultanate. Sur is Sher Shah Sur. And Mughal, I hope you know. Dakkan, Marathas, and Vijayanagar. In Delhi Sultanate, you had a concept of Ikta given to Iktadars. In Sur, Ikta is called Jagir. Jagir is given to Jagirdar. That is also similar for Mughals. They called it Jagir, given to Jagirdars. Dakkan, Jagir, given to Jagirdars. Marathas called it Saranjam. Saranjam given to Sardars, also called Havaldars. Vijayanagar called it Amaram, given to Nayaks. They were always non-Brahmins. Out of all this, we have done the first, Delhi Sultanate, in details. We are left with all these. We have to do it. करूं? शुरू करूं? This is easy. This is just the chart to give you a reference where exactly we are and what we are doing. Delhi Sultanate we know. So we start from Sur and Mughals. Then we will go separately and do Dakkan, Maratha and Vijayanagar. When I will teach you this, you will find that it is a lot, which is true. But you have to remember everything. Sur on one side, Mughals on the other. The first is Suba, Sarkar, Pargana, Gram. At Suba, you have a Subadar, which is the governor. So is true for Mughals. Subadar, also called Sipah Salar. Sarkar, Shikdar, and Munsif. Here the name has changed. Faujdar and Kotwal. Amin, Majumdar, Karkun, Kanungo. Amin, Amal Guzar, Bitikchish, Kanungo, and Patedar. Gram, Muqaddam, Chaudhary. Karkun, Kanungo. Amin. Now here, Muqaddam, Chaudhary, Kanungo, Patwari, and one more, Vakyanavis. There are two Vakyanavis. One writes in Persian, the other writes in Sanskrit. So two Vakyanavis in every village. Shikdar, IAS, Munsif, IPS, Faujdar, IAS, Kotwal, IPS, Amin, IRS, Majumdar, Indian Account Service, accountant, Karkun, the clerk, Kanungo, legal clerk, Amin, IRS, Amal Guzar, IRS, I mean accounts, Amal Guzar, accounts officer. Bitikchish is now the clerk. Karkun gone. Kanungo, legal clerk. Patedar, registry records, registrar. Mukaddam is the village headman. Chaudhary is the lathat, gunda. So that is also true here. Patwari is something which is different. Patwari is the registrar at village level. If you have been to village, you will find khasra papers. He keeps it. Patwari. Vakya Navis is the Barkhadat of Mughal period. Journalist. What are these? Nothing. I was just dreaming. Thought to map it. Officials at different levels in the Sur and the Mughal period, which you have to remember by heart. I have written also the works that they do, so it would be easier for you to remember. What's written before Nayak? Below Nayak, non-Brahmins. NBRAH dot is non-Brahmins. हाँ, हम लोग मजूमदार कायस्थ लगाते हैं ना टाइटल. मजूमदार आज भी होते हैं. मजूमदार, they are accountants. Kayasts, accountants. Huh? Vakya Navis is a journalist. That is why he is reporting in Persian and Sanskrit. Kanungo below. अरे भाई, if Kanungo is legal here, तो यहाँ पर वो legal ही होगा ना. But village level, same thing. No? Who were Vakya? Journalists. Sukanya, journalists. Done? So simple. Marathas. There is only one unit in Marathas, village. They do not have Suba Sarkar. No, they don't go into that shit. Only village. So this is a village, Maratha village. Theek. In this village only there are three people. Deshmukh. Deshmukh is the zamindar in a village. Then comes Deshpande. Deshpande is the clerk. And then comes Kulkarni, the one who maintains accounts. Three positions only. That's it. Deshmukh, Deshpande, Kulkarni. Now I hope that you know that it was Shivaji who gave Maratha the first kingship concept. Shivaji. Now I am saying that Marathis only had village as a community. So what does Shivaji become? He becomes the zamindar of zamindars. You understand? Since village is the only block, so Shivaji becomes zamindar of zamindar, the biggest zamindar of all. So he is called Sar Deshmukh. Sar Deshmukh. Since he is Sar Deshmukh, the tax that is levied from this area is 10% of gross produce, GP, and it is called Sar Deshmukhi. So remember, the Marathi village, the original Marathi land, Marathwada, only pays Sar Deshmukhi. A time comes in the history when Maratha expands, it goes to Bengal, it goes to Odisha, it comes to Mughal India. In other words, they expand. The area which is now new area, it is a new area which has been included. That is an outside territory. That is not part of the Marathwada. So there is no Deshmukh here. They always consider it extra Maratha land, always. So when they do it, from here, they levy a different kind of a tax. 25% of gross produce, called Chauth. However, this Chauth in Gujarat was called by a different name. It was called Bath. So in Gujarat area, it was called Bath. The rest of the region, it was called Chauth. It was always 1/4 of the total produce, 25%. Huge. Shivaji is known to keep army which had two differential kinds of soldiers. One was Bargir and the other was Siledar. Bargir and Siledar, these are the names of the soldiers, the army that Shivaji maintained. Bargir, Siledar. All right, wherein Bargir were extra force, RPF. Siledar, their force. All right. Shivaji is also known to have the beginning of a navy. How do we know that? Shivaji had gunboats in his army, gunboats. Those gunboats were called Ghorabs. It's a gunboat. He learned the trick from the Portuguese. Gunboats. That is Shivaji for you. In due course of time, Shivaji established an 8-fold ministry to take care of things called Ashtapradhan. 8 ministries or 8 ministers, whatever you want to call it. If you are from Maharashtra PCS, then you will have to remember, if you are going to write Maharashtra PCS, then you have to remember everything. Dabir, Surnis, Pandit Rao, everything. But if you are writing UPSC, only one is important. The most popular and the most important, Peshwa, the Prime Minister. खूब गर्जी थी आगरा ए बेनूर जब गर्दिश में था सतारा ए शाम. Satara was the capital of Shivaji and Peshwas kept Pune. They operated from Pune. Pune was their center. Shivaji operated from Satara. These are two different places. How many Marathis here? If you are a Marathi, in the interview, if they ask only for you, if they ask you, who is Peshwa? Just tell them, Peshwas are like the Tokugawa shogunates of Japan. If you have never studied history, you will not know what I have said. Peshwa Prime Minister. This Peshwa kept their own army called Khasi Pag. That was their personal army. That made them the strongest. A time comes when they will become stronger than the Maharaja himself. Peshwas are Deshmukhs only, na? अच्छा, हाँ होंगे बिल्कुल. That is Marathas for you. It's easiest of all. अब बताओ क्या करना चाहते हो, दक्कन या विजयनगर? दक्कन, डन. Even Deccan has one unit, village. Even Deccan has one unit, village. Now what we have to do is, we have to enter the village, Deccan village. So you, when you're writing, imagine, you are an accounts officer, you are a revenue collector, your duty is to collect revenue. Now where will you collect revenue from? Land. So you are entering. When you enter the village, you first divide the land into two parts. Pandhari. Pandhari is that part of the land where houses are built. So you cannot take revenue from there because there are houses built. The rest of the land is called Kali. The rest of the land. Now you further divide the rest of the land into two. Thal. Thal is the pasture land. And the other is Kshetra or Seth. That is rest of the land. Now in rest of the land, you further divide it into four. Pad, the barren land. Gatkhul, it's a prohibited area. You cannot go there, but you go there. Otherwise, you will not become mature. Prohibited area. Inam, Inam lands. These Inam lands are crown land. That belongs to the Raja. Crown land, Inam land. And the final land is called Miras. This is that land, star mark this, which belongs to peasants. So if it belongs to peasants, peasant should be called something. Miras is the land, so a peasant is called Mirasi. A peasant is called Mirasi. So the land revenue system here would be called Mirasdari. It is that simple. But will UPSC ask this? No. What will UPSC ask? Look at the board carefully. What is there which is so great about Deccan? Have a look. Fact के साथ अगर analysis ना आए तो किसी काम का नहीं. Look at the board carefully. What is so great about Deccan which is missing here, which everybody has? Everyone has, across India, everyone has one thing they don't have. क्या? Zamindars. Deccan does not have zamindar. Can you see zamindar written over anywhere? They don't have zamindar. That is the greatness of Deccan. And you will see what will happen due to this. Now, since they are Miras, they are peasants, they have many people. Every village has people who do not have land. Landless class. The landless class of a village is called Bulet. Not bullet, Bulet. These Bulet work in the field of Miras. All right, Mirasi. So when they work, that system is called Buletadari system. What did you learn here? There is no zamindar. So what happens? When in 1822, British arrive in this area, They do not see a zamindar, so they do not have any other option but to go with that. Was the most important reason why Dakkan has a different land revenue system and Bengal had a different revenue system. Ghatkul is a prohibited area, beta. गांव में जाते हो, मम्मी बोलती है उधर मत जाना, उधर जहां कोई आता जाता नहीं. For what reason? I think you have never been to a village, Desai Sahab. That part of the place, the boys 14, 15 years old, they learn how to drink and they learn certain chapters of biology there. The male members of the society, they go there to play cards. And since mostly it is a joint family system, how do you think a village which only has one kamara has so many kids? Why do you want me to मुंह खराब सुबह सुबह? बुद्धि लगाओ यार, हिंदुस्तान में पैदा हुआ, सेंट पीटर्सबर्ग में नहीं. हर चीज बोलने लायक नहीं होती. बात समझ आया? That is Dakkan for you. Now comes Vijayanagar. So you chose the difficult at the last. Good enough. Vijayanagar. Vijayanagar also had villages. These villages can be further divided into two. Brahman village, Agrahara, non-Brahman village. The non-Brahman village can be further divided into four. Non-Brahman, upper class, लेकिन upper caste. वेलन वगई, सॉरी वेलन वगई मत लिखो यहां पर, इसको और छोटा कर दो. अपर कास्ट विलेजेस, इसका they have a council called Nattavars. Now you have non-Brahman, lower class, lower caste but rich. This is Velan Vagai. Then comes lower caste villages and poor. They can be further divided into left hand caste, right hand caste. Right hand, left hand. Velangai, Idangai. Vijayanagar. A Vijayanagar Raja can only give a piece of land as land revenue from the non-Brahman village only. A Brahman village can never be given as a salary to anybody. So this piece of land is called Amaram and it is given to Nayaks. समझ आई बात? Amaram is always given from non-Brahman village area only, not from the Brahman village. White.
Why did you introduce Jagirdar?
It was. That is why you see. You started off from here. Read Dakkan, Jagir, Jagirdar.
Why they were not doing that?
Because zamindars are not required. No, why you would? Jagirdari has got nothing to do with zamindari. You will see right now. Once we enter Mughals, it has got nothing to do with zamindari. Zamindari is just a practical way of collecting the revenue from one person. They said we do not need, we will collect from everybody. Vijayanagar. So what did you learn? In Vijayanagar, you have non-Brahmin villages. The non-Brahmin villages were given as Amaram. Amaram is given to Nayaks. That is what Mota Mati you have understood. And non-Brahmin villages given as Amaram to Nayaks. What you have drawn earlier, I have just written it again. Theek. Now the function of Nayaks are actually two. The first function of a Nayak is military function. By military function, what do I mean? Military function means he has to maintain army. So if you are maintaining an army, you need to feed them on a regular basis. The horses has to be fed every day. It means you have to give them salary in cash. Take the army who's receiving the cash, for example, in North India, cash is called Nagadi. In South, Varichai. We have done that. Here, the cash is called Kar. Simple. Look at the second function of the Nayak. The second function is economic function. What do I mean by economic function? Civil function. He has to maintain law and order. And over and above, he has to collect revenue. Pakka? Logical? So, Idangai is left-hand caste. Bas, full stop. That's it. Collect revenue. Maintain law and order. Collect revenue. Now, a Nayak will not go to collect the revenue. He would send somebody. So he keeps Gunda, just like Chaudhary. Those are called polegars. You know them with a different spelling. You call them palegars. You must have read in modern India, Palegari revolt. Palegars. Now these palegars who are working, or polegars who are working for the Nayak, they would also require salary, but here the salary is given in form of a piece of land, kind. A small piece of land would be given to them. That piece of land is called Polium. Their salary is called Polium. Now, do not write, just look. Do not write, just look. Nayak's one function is military function, correct? ध्यान से देखना. Amara, Nayan, Kara. Amara, Nayan, Kara. System. That is his military function. Wait, do not write. The other function is this. From here is coming the revenue of the society. Ayagar system. When you put both these together, Ayagar plus Amara Nayan Kara system is the Nayak system. Ab likho. Easy. Very easy. So here we have just finished lecture number 5. salary in kind, just like feudalism. What is left and right hand caste? Left hand, right hand. No idea. I don't know. And 1, 2, 3, 4. आगे बढ़ो. Irrigation system. I always tell my students that you will get a question from here for sure. You normally do. And my guess is this year you will get a question from here. South. North. Airy. Kerry. Tatak. Kulam. They are canals. Mostly associated with temples and palaces. It is in control of the temples. That is why temples are so important in South. Controlled by temples or the palace, the Rajas. Number 2, Kal, Vaikal, Arukal. These are channels. Number 3, Kannaru. These are sub-channels, catchment area. Number 4, Picotas. These are lever used to lift water. And number 5, Tumbu, Madagu, and Kalingu. These are sluices, matlab gates of the dam. You see, these are the developments before we have Mughals. We are trying to cover everything what happened before the Mughals. Everything. Dhiwad, Dhimad, Dhiku. These are small wells. Tagad is a reservoir. Vapi, you also call it Vav, is a step well. Number 4 is Arghat. Arghat. Sluice you do not know? Gates of the dams. Arghat. These are wells near banks of river, obviously, also use a lever to pull the water. Now, what is that lever? That is number 5. Ghati yantra. Ghati yantra is that lever that lifts water. So Arghat will always have a Ghati yantra. Number 6. लिख लिया? नूरिया, राहत, अरहत. You call it with a different name. Persian wheel. They have a pulley system. This was introduced by Delhi Sultanate. देखो ध्यान से, रुको एक मिनट. It is also a scheme to pull the water. They are also using a lever. Arghat is also a scheme to pull the water. They are also using a lever. Ghati yantra. The basic difference between these two is Arghat is always close to the water. It means you need to have a water table very close to the crust. Persian wheel, however, can be put to use where the ground level of the water is very deep. Have you understood? That is why it is better off than Arghat. This is much more technically advanced. How do they do it? So normally this is the wheel. Over this wheel, they attach buckets made of leather, and then they turn the wheel and the water comes out. This bucket is made of leather, so it is called leathern bucket, leathern bag, which is called charas. Very, very important. Charas. Done? Simple. Take. Now write one more. 7. Kulya. Kulya is a dike. 7 here, I think 5 there. That you have to remember. Kulya. All these irrigation technology was already there before the coming of the Mughals. 1526. It is everything before Mughals. Dike means, beta kabhi to dictionary khol le. Once. Non-agriculture productions pre-Mughals. Number 1. There is a place called Udaipur, which is in Rajasthan, still is there in Rajasthan, where you will find a mine called Zawar mines, where we got our zinc from. We mined zinc from there. It's a very important fact. Zinc, when added with copper, gives you brass. Udaipur was the center of brass manufacturing in India. 7th point is Kulya. Number 2. There's a place called, there's a Kolhapur district. In Kolhapur district, there is a place called Brahmapuri, where we have got the reference of tinning of copper utensils to keep food cool. We still use it as a practice. If you have ever been to a kitchen, ever, the boys particularly, you would see utensils which have two different differential colors. I hope you have seen. Number 3, there's a place called Kutch. There is a place called Koteshwar or Kotesar. Earlier it was known as Korij. Korij, Koteshwar, Kotesar. From here we find woods steel. Wood steel is soft. Sorry, woods, ठीक है. Soft iron जिसको बोलते हो. When it is mixed with silver and copper, I'm sorry, I have written wood steel. Wood steel ही produce होगा. यहाँ पे लिखो wrought iron. I'm sorry. What do you produce? You produce woods steel. So what will the people from Arabia do? Will come here, will take the wood steel, make the sword out of it, cut our heads and rule us. They took it back always, so that is why it is also called Damascene steel, the steel of Damascus, but it is actually our steel. Damascene. Number 4. Year 1469. Place is Dakkan, Bahmani. From Dakkan, we have found from the sources a word, Safshahang. It's a Persian word, Safshahang, which actually means metal wires. Metal wires were in use since 1469. Number 5. Horses were brought from Arabia, Arab horses. With that came 2 technology. Number 1, rikab. Rikab is a stirrup. And B, घोड़े की नाल, horseshoe. Number 6, textiles. A, when the Delhi Sultanate people came here, they brought 2 things, Cardi B, Triddle, and one more, tie and dye technique, which you today call bandhana, bandhani sari. If you remember, I had taught you about a person called Thakur Pheru. Remember? The one who gave you measurement Alauddin Khilji's time period. In his book, he mentions about a particular sari variety, patola. Very popular during the time of the Khiljis. Number 7. The year is 1489. The place is Kashmir. From Kashmir, we find the first evidence of paper. What was this paper used for? This paper was used to write Sath-Path Brahman. That makes Sath-Path Brahman the first ever book to have seen a paper. From Kashmir, 1489. Number 9. There is a place called Mansoura, which is in Sindh area. From this area came glassware stones. However, the best of these stones, if you are rich, होता है ना, पैसे कम हैं, खराब टाइल, ज्यादा पैसे हैं, मार्बल, depending upon how much you can invest. So if you want the best glassware, you have to go to a place called Halep. Halep is Aleppo. Aleppo is in Syria. Number 9, building technology. Lime was brought from Byzantine. Mortar was brought from Sasanians, Iran. I do not know whether how good you are in geography, but this is the reason. This is the reason. Byzantine, Sasanian, Iran, and the Turkey region. In the records, normally, in old geographical records, it is called Saracen. That is why the architecture of India is called Indo-Saracenic. Indo-Saracenic architecture. Number 10. Soap manufacturing was known. From the time period of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So we can be sure at least he bathed from soap. उससे पहले का नहीं कह सकते. Soap manufacturing known from the time period of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Number 11. Fish. What kind of fish? Dried fish. Used as fertilizer for sugar cane production, which is still used today. It was learnt by the Gujaratis. The first reference comes from Gujarat. Number 12. टेक्सटाइल हो गया, हॉर्सेस हो गए, पानी हो गया, खाना हो गया. अब बचा लास्ट 2 to 3 crop rotation system was known in India. Number 13, put a star. Enclosure was not known in India. Bracket में लिख लो, there was no concept private property. It's a very absolute statement. Privatization of pasture lands never happened in India. That is the reason why the idea of private property first emerges in England. That leads to colonialism and imperialism. That is why India was never a colony. He never made somebody a colony. Enclosure was not known in India. इसीलिए you are going in a jungle, You see a fruit, you can pluck, you eat. No worries. So these are the points that you have to remember. So we have done non-agricultural production and irrigation technology. Now we move towards before the Mughals arrived in India, how India looked like. And then we start with Mughals. अभी तो पढ़ा था, कहाँ रहते हो? एनसीईआरटी में पढ़ाया आपको क्लास 9th में. इनक्लोजर मूवमेंट पढ़ाया तुम लोगों ने? नहीं, स्कूल में? First, we divide the village according to the caste system. Raiya, Rayyat. In English, they are called Royat. Mostly upper caste. In this, there are three categories. Number one, Khut. Khut are zamindars. They are the richest. Number two, Angushta. Rich peasants. Number three, Barzagar. Only peasants. B, the lower caste. So just like Shudra. Here you have Dhanuk and Thodi. Dhanuk, Thodi. C is outcast. Only one, Chandals. That is how a village community north would look like. That is how the division is done. That is only caste based. I know, Vaishali. Yes, Vaishali, you should do that. NCERT. Village community. ठीक. That is caste based. Now you will understand economic based division. ठीक. Fortunately, caste based division hierarchy is exactly like the economic based. The one who has the lot of land will be the richest. That is how it works. Now you understand how caste association gives you economic association in village, and it's important. So village community again. On the top is Raiya. Raiya has now two categories. Khud Kasht and Pahi Kasht. Khud Kasht is the one who owns land and tills the land. क्या समझ आया इससे? That they live in the village. They live in the village. Pahikashts are those who own the land in some other village but do not stay and don't till. Simply put, you have a land but you don't till. Pahikasht, khudkasht. Khudkasht, khud jotne wala. Pahikasht, who is not tilling the land on his own but he holds the land. B is Muzarian. Muzarian is a migrant laborer. C is a Hali. Halis. They are mostly caste associated who have lost their land in debt. So therefore, they own oxen or a plow. Imagine you were a peasant. All right, taxes went up. You could not pay the tax. So the zamindar took your land. So you have now left with a ox or a plow. So you travel every morning in the village for a work. If you get the work, you will eat today. If you don't, you won't. Now, since normally villages in North India are caste based, that is why I have written mostly caste associated. Matlab, let us say there's a village of Yadavs. So there would be Yadav Halis. For example, if there is an area where there are only Rajputs, Rajput Halis. So that is how they are divided. So when, let us say in a market area, Yadav and Rajput Hali is standing, I am a person which needs a work and I am a Rajput by caste. I will choose Rajput. That is how it works. Number D. Kamins. From here comes the word kamina, which actually means artisans, the craftsmen. Understand this. What I have written right now is exactly in the same order, hierarchy. Yes, Vaishali, NCERT. In South, it is very common. Yes, Gaurav, exactly. It's very simple. Now, UPSC will not ask you this. You know why? Because anybody can rote learn. I have a question. And you will see what UPSC will ask. Let me see if you can answer. Muzarian are migrant laborers. It means they will not have a land when they are moving with you. Can you take your land? But I have kept Muzarian over Halis. Why? Because Halis at least have property. They have cow and a plow. Why Kamina is considered bad then? It is not. You consider it. Because the caste system is like that. Certain occupations are put down. Chamar, Sunar, है ना? Teli. वो नहीं रहे तो खाना ना बने. Did you understand my question? My question is very simple. Halis own ox and a plow. I should have put Hali before Muzarian, but I have put Muzarian over Hali. Why? If you tell me this, you have comprehension skills. If you don't, आप कितना भी पढ़ लो. The answer is written on the board. Huh? Where? Tell me where. Where? They are migrating from the village. Huh? एक मिनट. Krishna, please elaborate. एक ही बच्चा सही लिखा है, थोड़ा सा एक बच्चा ऊपर है, बिकॉज हाँ, हरेंद्र इज ऑल्सो गोइंग ऑन द राइट ट्रैक. बिल्कुल हरेंद्र, बिल्कुल सही. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव लैंड इन द विलेज? Everybody? Good. What are you doing here? You have migrated for greener pastures. Pahikast own the land but don't till. So where do they go? Pahikast is the Muzarian of the city. Have you understood? It is that simple. The Pahikast are the Muzarians of the city. They own the land. Maybe their land is not that fertile, or maybe they want to be collectors. So they will come to Vajiram. And they have given their land on Batai to a Hali. So who would be bigger, a Hali or a Muzarian? Chalo, kuch to seekhe. Fresh sheet. Now we are ready to jump into the most important and dreadful empire of India, almost accused of everything. Mughals, Babur. At the age of 14, he had to take the throne from his father at Samarkand, Uzbekistan. He was born to Kutlug Khanum, the mother. Kutlug Khanum, mother, who was the 16th generation of Chagatai Khan. 16th generation. Matlab Chagatai Khan was her par nana. And Chagatai Khan was the son of Chengiz Khan. Chagatai Khan was the only son of Chengiz Khan who accepted Islam and became a Sunni. So Kutlu Khanum, Sunni. Kutlu Khanum was married to Umar Mirza. Umar Mirza was the fourth in the generation of a very great ruler by the name Timur. If you remember, I told you, Timur came from Samarkand in the map. Timur was a Turk. This line is Mongol. That is why Mughals are called Turco-Mongol. They are also called Chagatai Turk. So basically, Mughal is the Persian term for Mongols. When you say Mughal, Mughal is a respectful name to a Gali, which is Mongol. So in 13th, 14th century, if you are calling somebody Mongol, it is like calling somebody untouchable today. But Mughals is respectful. Persian. Now you can understand Kutlu Khanum is the 16th generation. So there would be many generations here. There's one family tree of the Chagatai Khan, which gives you Shaybani Khan. Now that makes Shaybani Khan, he was 32 years old, a cousin of Babur. They are cousin brothers, relatives. relatives, but enemy. He is that relative who would not call you for your health, but give you a call exactly on the day of your examination result. Relatives. So Shaybani wants to take Samarkand because he is 32 years old. He is 32 years old. He wants to take Samarkand from Babur. Babur is only 14. That is the issue. Understood? Shaybani is 17 brothers, 53 cousins, and 23 sons. So if Shaybani comes alone also with his family, it is enough for Babur. Because Babur only has a sister, nobody else. Also understand, if Babur dies, this line of Chagatai goes away. He is the only one remaining from both the links. Only one. So if Babur gone, Chagatai Turk gone. All right, Babur needs help. Babur finds a friend somewhere else. He goes towards Persia. All right. He meets a person there, Ismail Shah. Ismail Shah is the founder of the famous Safavid Empire. Safavids, Iran. But there is a problem. They are Shia. Babur is Sunni. But it is okay, because I told you in lecture number 3, it is just difference of opinion. For us, it is a very big thing. It is actually not a very big thing. Shia, Sunni, they would come together, no issues. Babur and Ismail Shah came in contact. They became great friends. And their friendship did something which was very unexpected. They both went, killed Shaybani. Shaybani gone. Khatam. We are talking about Uzbekistan, Samarkand region. Ismail Shah with Babur kills Shaybani. Now that was the problem, because until now Babur was fighting with Shaybani. Now he's fighting with 17 brothers, so many cousins, and 23 sons. Everybody is now looking for Babur. Babur has no other choice but to run. So where he runs? He comes Kabul. In 1505, he makes the first invasion in India. Babur had come before 1526. In 1505, Babur had come in 1505. In lecture number 4, I had taught you. Actually, lecture number 5 itself. Lodhis shifted their capital to Agra in 1505-6. This was the reason. So when this invasion happened, who was the Sultan of Delhi? Sikandar Lodhi. In 1508, Babur takes the title for the first time of the Mughal emperor. He calls himself Padshah. For the first time, he takes the title in 1508. Before that, he has not. Padshah. In 1526, he makes the fifth move, fifth time to India. That everybody knows. Invited by Daulat Khan Lodhi. Daulat Khan Lodhi was the governor of Sindh and Multan region. Governor. Sindh, Multan, Punjab. All these three regions were under his protection. He is the governor at the time of the Lodhis. But Daulat Khan Lodhi was not the only invitee. Rana Sanga was also involved. There was involvement of Rana Sanga also in calling Babur to India. They called Babur for only one thing. Come here, kill Ibrahim Lodi, take the loot, go back so that we can become emperors. That is the whole idea. But Babur does not go back. 1526, the first battle of Panipat happens. The first battle of Panipat happens. In this battle, the first battle ever, where cannons were used. And Babur ended up killing Ibrahim Lodi. So that is he establishing himself in India. 1526. He had killed Daulat Khan was on a run. So he has killed Ibrahim Lodi. Now he has to go for Rana Sanga. Now you have to imagine, Panipat is very close to Agra, correct? But he does not go to Agra. It's a fact which you must remember. He sends his son, Humayun, to take charge of Agra. So if UPSC asks, who reaches Agra first? It is not Babur. Humayun. ठीक. After this battle, 1527-28, he has moved to kill Rana Sanga. Battle of Kanwa. Battle of Kanwa. Rana Sanga is not killed here, but we have to remember this war for something else, this battle for something else. In this battle, Babur takes a new title. Babur calls himself title of Ghazi. Matlab, he calls it, this battle, a jihad, a religious war. Very important detail. He calls himself Ghazi. Ghazi means the one who is fighting in the name of Islam. So the second battle is actually a battle of jihad. He calls it like this. And the last battle happens towards Chanderi. Why he goes to Chanderi? Not to defeat a ruler, but to take the most important fort after Agra of the Lodhis, and that was Gwalior. Anybody from Gwalior? कोई ग्वालियर से है यहाँ? नहीं? चलो बच गए. In the Gwalior fort, there is one mausoleum. एक कब्रगाह है. If you are from Gwalior, they will ask you a question in the interview. They normally do. In this time period, the most important technological innovation was cannons. Babur had a topchi, the one who would handle the cannons. He died in Gwalior. It is his mausoleum. The Babur's topchi is buried in Gwalior fort. It's a very important fact for those who come from that area. They will normally ask that question. Zafar was buried there. Battle itne sare ho gaye. Now look at Babur as a person. Character sketch of Babur. Babur was good at hand. I mean, he could write well. So he went on to write Tuzuk. Tuzuk means autobiography. Tuzuk-e Baburi. Now, Tuzuk-e-Baburi is written in Turkic. Tuzuk-e-Baburi is written in Turkic, but later it was translated as Babarnama. Babarnama is the translation of Tuzuk, but this is written in Persian. That is the basic difference between these two. Turkic, Persian. He was also good at poetry. So he wrote a book on poetry. It was called Muabin. That was his poetry. He was good in Turkic. What is the most important thing about his book is, in this book, he mentions 3-4 things which everybody should know. He talks about flora of India. He talks about fauna of India. And most importantly, he writes that while crossing the Jhelum, he met a person who wore a turban. Nanak. Tuzuk-e-Baburi gives you a very important fact that he had met Nanak. So Nanak and Babar are perfect. बात समझ में है? Babar was also good with, since he was good in writing, so he gave you a calligraphy style. His calligraphy style is named after him, Baburi. He gives you another calligraphy style called Baburi. Number 4, he was good with gardens. He made a lot of gardens in India, but the most important garden that he made was called Garden of 8 Paradise. Today you call it Aram Bagh, Agra. But Babar did not call it Aram Bagh. Babar called it something else. Babar called it Kabul. So that is why UPSC asked a question once. Babar was buried in Kabul. Later he was reburied by Shah Jahan in Kabul. People thought it is a printing. No, it is not. So after the death, he was buried in Kabul, India, and later Shah Jahan, his Charpota, 4th in the generation, Shah Jahan, reburies him in Kabul, Afghanistan. That is Babar for you. आप लोग का बैच कब शुरू हुआ था? फरवरी. महीना कौन सा चल रहा है? जून चल रहा है. कितने महीने हो गए? जितना पढ़ा था सब याद है? पक्का? Why reburied? Because Kashif, Babar always wanted to go back to Kabul. He did not like India. उसको गर्मी लगती थी यहाँ. He missed his musk melons. है ना? He missed it. Anyway, July onwards, you have to put the pedestal because 4 महीने हो चुके हैं. शुरू हो जाओ, ज्यादा पढ़ो और कोशिश करो सोशल मीडिया इस्तेमाल ना करें. दोस्त तुम्हारे जीवन में अभी काम नहीं आएंगे. 1 साल भूल जाओ. So remove your phones, throw it somewhere. No social media, no festivals, no friends. कोई पूछे कहाँ हो, बोलो मर गए. क्योंकि याद रखना, if you are missing this time, you are missing later also, because पहली बार में जो होता है वो बाद में नहीं होता. और मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं because I have more than 75,000 students in the last 3, 4, 5 years. So I know what to do. तो जो कहता हूं सुन लो, कर लो. वरना फेल हो जाओगे। जो पढ़ाया रट जाओ उसको। कहां तक पहुंचा मैं? काबुल लिखते चलो। Alwar died in Alwar, so the name Alwar. And he died before Babur. So before the death, Babur had divided his territory into to his different sons. He said, Humayun, tu Badakhshan ja. Everybody was sent at different places. The relationship between Humayun and Babur was like of a father who never shows love in front of the son, but he loves the son the most. So when he's talking to somebody, how is Humayun? He has all praise for Humayun. But when he's talking to Humayun, he would say, Bekar mein paida kar diya. So Humayun is always criticized for what he is. But anyway, he was his choice to become the emperor. In the last few months, when Babur falls ill, Humayun luckily is present in Agra. Luckily. Babur dies, Humayun takes over. सिर्फ यही डेट लिखोगे, बाद का तो गड़बड़ है थोड़ा. He starts from 1530s onwards. Humayun means the fortunate one. And he was actually very fortunate. You would see. The fortunate one, Humayun. These are the sons of Babur. When Babur was on the run and when he went to Iran, to meet the Safavid ruler, Ismail Shah, he saw a girl on the street. So he adopted that child and took care of that child just like his own. The name of that girl was Gul Badan Banu Begum. So she becomes the foster sister of Humayun, and she is the foster aunt of Akbar. All right, she is the foster aunt of Akbar. Akbar has not spent a lot of time with Humayun. Gulbadan is a well-learned woman. He says, Chachi, Khala, why don't you write something for my father? She goes on to write a book, Ayale Humayun Pasha. In short, Humayun Nama. In this book, she mentions two most important facts. Number one, Humayun was a mathematician, a great mathematician. Number two, he was into astrology. He was an astrologer. She mentions one more thing. He was an opium addict. That is why he could see stars in the morning also. Opium addict. Gulbadan writes that he was such an addict that just by the time he turned 46, 47, half of his body below the thigh, below the waist, had actually swollen and it oozed pus. So it would require people to put him on the horse. That is Gulbadan saying, not me. Humayun was very much interested in astrology. So what he always did was, he sat in the center of the court. He thought as if he is the sun. And then he would ask the nobles, the soldiers, the priests, and the common people to sit at different corners. Their place, their color of the cloth was always fixed. So if you pull this like this, you get a star. This is Humayun's contribution in the architecture of Mughal India. You will always see this star on every monument of Mughals. The Mughal star. He thinks that he is the sun. So what will he do? Every morning, whenever he will come to the court, the first ritual is people will see him and think they are blessed because they are looking at the sun. So it is he who started Jharokha Darshan, a Rajputana technique or a ritual. One fine day, he goes on the top of the library, which was in Deen Panah. I hope we have studied Deen Panah. Deen Panah was in Delhi. So he steps on Deen Panah, the month, if I remember, he actually went to see Venus early morning. His legs, both bad legs. He went up with his friend, whose name was Khwandamir. Khwandamir was his friend. He was the eyewitness, an astrologer. They went up to see Venus, and Humayun toppled down from the stairs and died. So, the love for his stars killed him. So we have killed Humayun, we have to resurrect him. उसको दोबारा जिंदा करना पड़ेगा because he is important. We will have to make him alive again. We have killed him. So, देखिए क्या करता है भाई. To understand Humayun, we have to start the story from a different time zone. And the story starts from the Lodhis, Afghans. Lodhis were Afghans. So when the Afghans became the ruler of India, many Afghan families migrated to India. Why? Because they thought they will get employment. That is true. So many of the Afghani families migrated. One of the family is important here for us. One particular family got employment, got into the army, the Lodhis army. Now think about it. You are a migrant. You are a migrant from Afghanistan. You have come to India and you get employment. For you, the Lodhi emperors, rulers, are no less than God. You are revered. You celebrate those rulers. So from the time of the Lodhis, there are many families. One particular family got into the army. 3 generations later, 3 generations. So Dadaji, Pitashri, and then the son. 3 generations. The 3rd generation was born in the same family, a boy by the name Farid Khan. The 3rd generation in that family. So Farid Khan is an Indian Muslim. Ye yaad rakhna. He is not an outsider. He is an Indian Muslim born in India. By the time he is there, Babur is killing Ibrahim Lodhi. His child. Abhi mushkil se 16 saal ka ladka hai. Babur is killing Ibrahim. He does not like it. He runs to the only Lodhi family, uncle from the royalty who still exists, still alive. He was staying in Bihar. So this boy migrates to Bihar and makes Sasaram his area of expertise. That is the place where he gets re-established. working for one of the family members of the Lodhis, and he takes a pledge that he will go and fight against the Mughals. Because of his bravery, he was given another name, Sher Shah. Since he belonged to a family of the clan of Sur, so the name Sher Shah Sur. In the exam, kindly do not write Suri, because if you have an examiner like me, he will cut your whole answer. No Suri, Sur. Suri nahi hota kuch. All right. Sher Shah Sur. So our story will begin from here. Sher Shah Sur is a nemesis, the enemy of Humayun. Humayun is a very, कैसे समझाऊं, वो सबसे आप करके बात करता है. Shom, in Persian there's a word called Shom, which actually means you, for आप. So he always says आप कैसे हैं, even to his servants. So people think that he is a very benevolent Raja. ये ज़्यादा दिन टिकने वाला नहीं है. So he's not into fight. Whenever he is going for a fight, the first thing that he does is diplomacy. All right. He tries to buy the enemy first rather than fighting. Sher Shah thinks that he can defeat him. Anyway, Sher Shah starts a battle. The Battle of Kannauj and Battle of Chausa. There are two battles. 1539 है ये, 1540 है ये. मैंने उल्टा लिख दिया, सॉरी, कोई बात नहीं. The result is the same. Humayun runs to save his life. Sher Shah wins. Sher Shah wins. Humayun has to run. So remember, Humayun runs to save his life. We will continue from here. We had killed him. We have made him alive. Now he is running. We will come to where he is running to. But first, Sher Shah. Sher Shah जो है हमारे, he establishes Sur Empire in 1540. Goes till 54. ठीक. सबसे पहले आया शेर शाह. सूर 1540 to 45. Now look at this guy. Had he stood or had he continued for more years, India's North India particularly, the nature of North India would have been completely different. Look at this guy. He's very different from others. The first thing that he does, he establishes a tri-metallic currency system. That is the first thing that he does after becoming the emperor in North India. Tri-metallic currency system. Now, the tri-metal, the most important metal is not gold, it is silver. He called silver Rupaiya. So comes the name today, Rupaiya. Tri-metallic, it was against gold. The other currency is Mohar, gold. And the smallest is copper. You call it Dam. Tri-metallic currency system. इससे हुआ क्या? What happened? The first thing that happened was a new land revenue was established called Zabti, based on cash. Matlab, now revenue is collected in cash only. Zabti. For the first time, peasants had to sell their property, I mean, sell their grains to pay off the tax. Imagine it like this. If you understand, it is great. If you don't, just remember it as a fact. Imagine you are a peasant. Theek? You have to give me 10 kgs every month as the tax. 10 kgs. Correct? Now Sher Shah says, I do not want 10 kgs. I want 10 rupees. Let us say 10 rupiya chahiye usko. But do you produce coins? No. So what will you do? You will sell it. So where will you sell it? You will go to the market. So imagine you are a peasant, you have gone to the market only with 10 kgs because you think you are a bhola peasant. Very honest. You think I will sell 10 kgs, 1 rupee kg each, and then get 10 kgs. I will pay Sher Shah Sur. That's what you think. But when you go to that mandi, to that market, you realize that the rice that you have grown, the market value of that rice, because merchants have come from everywhere, is actually 4 rupees per kg. What is the first thing that will strike to you? If you are honest, you would only sell 2.5 kgs. But no, you are not. You are now learning the tricks and trait of the market. So what will you do? You will sell 10 kgs. You will earn 40 rupees. You will give 10 rupees to Sher Shah. 30 is your profit. Understood? What was the difference that I taught you between peasant and a farmer? What was the difference between a peasant and a farmer that I taught you? Bolo Baba. Out of nowhere, peasants become farmers. Evolution of farmers happened during the time of Sher Shah. Now you do not have peasants in India. Even if you have, very few. Now you have farmers. Because farmers produce for profit. Peasants produce to live. Farmers produce for profit. There's a change. Now imagine the same example. You have gone to sell 10 kgs, but you find out that the merchants have come together and decided that they will not buy more, that they will not pay you more than 50 paisa. You are at loss. So what should Sher Shah do? Sher Shah will come with a farmer. He would say that in my realm, no merchant can buy less than 1 kg per 1 rupee per kg. What is this? That is the greatness of Sher Shah. Minimum support price. The second greatness was the GT road. It ran from Sonargaon, that is in Bengal, to Peshawar. But later, it was extended to Kabul. That is the total extent of the Grand Trunk Road or the Sher Shah Road. But the point is, India already had many roads. ऐसा थोड़ी कि पहले ट्रेड नहीं कर रहे थे. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि अलकतरा था. ऐसा भी नहीं है ना. They did not have tar that they will put it on the road so the road is very beautiful. No, you had roads before also. So what is the greatness of this particular road? Imagine that there's a road. So the first thing that he did, he planted trees on both the sides. See, I'm not good with painting, so it is not underneath. You understand? Do not think that he is, these are not cabbage or potato. No, this is a tree on the other side of the road. So on the road, he established motels that he called Caravanserai. Caravanserai. motels, Caravanserai, where the people, the merchants will come and stay. Every one course, एक course, after every one course, he will put a minar. He will put a minar called course minar, where there would be a security guard always standing. Now, normally what would happen before, that if you are a merchant, you could be asked for toll tax anywhere. Number two, whatever you earn, you first go to the kotwal, you pay the tax and then you go. The question is, why would a merchant who is coming all the way from Afghanistan or Iran will go all the way to your palace to pay the tax? You should come and collect it. That is what Sher Shah did. Sher Shah said, the merchants are on the road, place an official either in the motel or at the coast minar, collect a Rahdari tax from there. So Rahdari tax to be collected from the road, number one. Number two, all the custom duties, octroi tax, everything, whatever you hear of, all the taxes should be collected at the Caravanserai. They should be given ease of doing business. That was the greatness of Sher Shah's road. Sher Shah, if he would have existed for some more time, it would have been great, but it did not work out. His life was great, his death was great. Number three, his death, Battle of Kalinjar. Battle of Kalinjar. Battles were happening. He was fighting. It was a Friday. Normally, in those days, there was a custom that whenever there is a big festival during the battles, you will give a holiday. Nikash milega. Sorry, avkash milega aapko. Kya bol raha hu? Avkash milega aapko. So, for example, you are fighting Navratri aa gaya, to ruk ke holi khel lo thoda. Matlab holi mein holi khel lo, Navratri mein Navratri mana lo. It was a Friday. It was Jumme ka din. People went for praying. Sher Shah prayed, got free early, so he decided to clean the cannons. He blew himself off. While cleaning the cannon. His death was also very interesting. Number four, his son will take over, Islam Shah. Islam Shah succeeded him, his son, 1545 to 54. After this, Islam Shah does not have a very great successorship after him, 54. Sher Shah Sur's dynasty came to an abrupt end after 54. So what did you learn? You learned going off Humayun was difficult. Coming back of Humayun was the easiest, the fortunate one. There's nobody in the history of India. What is written after Rahdari? Octroi tax. Economics mein padha hoga. Whoever could reclaim the territory after the loss. Humayun is the only example. आगे बढ़ो, आगे बढ़ो. Humayun runs. So where did he run? He runs and comes to Hindal. Hindal was in Sindh area, province. Why did he come to Hindal? Please explain Caravanserai. The place Caravani stay. Motel जानते हो रोड के हाईवे पर होता है वो. Have you been to Humayun's tomb? When you enter, there is a Caravanserai on the right. The first thing that you see is a Caravanserai. Only then you enter. Hindal. क्या कह रहे? Huh? Where? Hindal. He went to Hindal first because there was the mother of Humayun. Humayun's mother stayed with Hindal, Dildar Begum. देखो बेटा, एक बात समझाता हूं. तुम चाहे कितने भी गधे हो, मां के लिए तुम हीरो हो. How bad you are for your mother, you are the best. So when Dildar Begum heard of Humayun coming, she threw a party. Although Humayun has lost everything. So she threw a party. In that, and look at Humayun, look at his audacity. He has lost everything. In that party, he is looking at a 14-year-old girl. In that party, he is looking at a... Humayun is the best sprinter in the world. He is running jovially. Because his running will give you more things than his staying in Delhi or Agra. So he runs, he meets here a woman, Hamida Banu Begum, and says, Mummy, shadi to isi se karunga. She was a Shia. Humayun marries Hamida Banu Begum. A romantic true love comes to fruition. A 40-year-old man marries a 14-year-old girl. They call it love. After this marriage, Kamran, the brother who was staying at Kabul, writes a very beautiful letter to Hindal. Dear brother, I am coming to kill you. It's a very beautiful letter. Mother of Akbar, na? क्या पूछ रहा है? हाँ, कहाँ था यार मैं? Kamran writes a letter, tells Hindal, dear brother, I am going to kill you. If you want to save yourself, ask Humayun to leave at once. Humayun is told by, actually Hindal also does not like Humayun. So he says, Bhaiya, niklo. Humayun says, all right, he runs again. This time he comes to Askari. But Askari was not there in Multan. He has come to a different place. He has come to a different place. The place is called Umarkot. There's a fort there, so he has come there, Askari. He's a 17-year-old boy, Askari. Humayun comes here. Here, Akbar is born. Kamran sends another letter to Askari, says, dear brother, I am going to come and kill you. So let Humayun go. Now, ab dikkat hai, how will Humayun run? There's a small child. So Humayun, before running, goes to Kandahar. Why? Because at Kandahar is Askari's wife. Askari says, Bhaiya, we have problem with you. We do not kill Jananas. So you go, ask my wife to give protection to Akbar and your wife. So Askari's wife becomes the guardian of both Akbar and Hamida. So Hamida and Akbar are put at Kandahar. Now Humayun has to run. So where does he run? He runs, comes to Safavids. The long friendship is now going to pay off. He comes to Safavids. This time, Safavids has a new ruler. His name is Shah Tahmasp. And who is he? He is the childhood friend of Humayun. Because Babur and his father were friends. They knew each other since they were children, 7 years old. So for the next 1 decade, 10 saal, Humayun is going to stay at Safavids, 2 places. One is Herat, their summer capital, and Kazvin. These were the 2 places where Humayun is going to stay. ठीक. Now I will write 2 lines. If you want, you can check it with other batches who has done this lecture. I have always told them, I will write 2 lines, and till now these 2 lines have fetched 8 questions. I take my words back. I will write 2 lines that has already fetched you 10 questions, including 2022. Sirf 2 line, and they will ask you questions again. ठीक, सिर्फ 2 लाइन. तो पहला लाइन लिखेंगे, Humayun has got nothing to do here. Guardian of Akbar and Hamida. Matlab, she is giving security to their children, to his children, matlab child and wife. Number 1, he has got nothing to do. So he comes to know about a very popular, or actually a founder, miniature painter, the master of all the painters of miniature painting in those days. He comes in contact with Behzad. Now the problem is, Behzad is already dead. So you can think of, he is dead, but he is so popular that he is spoken in Safavids in present tense. Abhi Safavid, you can understand, Behzad ki ye painting hai, unhone ye banaya hai, abhi or banega, whatever. So they are speaking in present tense. Behzad is dead. He is the master painter of Safavids Iran. Humayun looks at his paintings and promises himself, if he ever goes back to India, he will take the disciples of Behzad with him. So the miniature artists for the first time enters India in whose time period? Perfect. अभी मत लिखो, अभी मत. You will be, there will be too much fact. Just write, disciples will come at the time of Humayun. Just write, miniature painters or miniature painting come to India at the time of Humayun. I am not giving you names because when I will give you the lecture on architecture and you will get the handouts, the names are written over there. So कितना fact लिखोगे? हाँ. Mir Sayyid Ali is one. वैसे. Fact number 2. Second fact. Safavid ruler Tahmasp gave 10,000 soldiers to Humayun to take back his empire. ऐसे लिख लो. Back his empire. Now Safavids is what? Shia or Sunni? Shias. So can we say that these 10,000 soldiers, अरे कहाँ चले जा रहे हो? These 10,000 soldiers would be Shias, correct? Can we call them Iranian Shias? Iranian Shias were called Qizilbash or Qazibash. Qizilbash or Qazibash. Shias, you remember I told you, they call themselves from the family of the Prophet. So their surname would be they called themselves Sayyids. And their demarcation was they wore a cap. Kula. A cap. So the question is here. I will just write 2 lines. 10,000 soldiers, Shia, Qizilbash. But when they come to India, they will marry here in the Indian family. What should they be called now? Correct. Indian Shias, because they are marrying in India, they get a new name. They are called Khanzadas. Named after the Bua of Humayun, Babur's sister, Khanzada Begum, because she was the first one to get married in the Safavids. To give her respect, the Indian Shias were called Khanzadas. And from this time onwards, the Shias of India start putting a new surname, Khan. बात समझ में? 2 सेंटेंस, 9 क्वेश्चंस, 10 क्वेश्चंस. आई विल शो यू कुला. मैंने ये एक्चुअली एक और जगह दिखाया, जब आप आर्किटेक्चर करोगे वहां पे भी दिखेगा आपको, तो आंख खोल के देखोगे तो दिखेगा. Indian Shias, 2 sentences, and they are more important than anything else. So, Humayun done, Babur done. आप अभी डन नहीं, अभी अकबर पे जाएंगे. We will finish Akbar ka thoda, then we will move to Akbar next class. They'll finish it. We'll try to finish it off. Done, khatam, Humayun, Akbar. That we can be very sure of. Akbar was dyslexic. He was Tare Zami par. And he was further a confused lot because Ma Sunni, Baap Shia. Sorry, Ulta. Ma Shia, Baap Sunni. All right. The people from the Humayun and the royal family and his guards did not like Akbar to mix with the Shias. And the Shias, the mother, was very polished, and she was always away doing other things. So the whole preparation of Akbar is very different. As a character, Akbar is very different. And here comes the importance of a guru. Akbar got leeches in the name of Guru. He had 2 people in his life who took everything under their control. Mehman Aga and the second was Bairam Khan. So if I'm saying Bairam Khan, can you tell me who is he, Shia or Sunni? ऐसे आता है सवाल. अब आप पढ़ोगे बैरम खां वाज शिया, इतना क्यों करना है? खान लगाया उसमें. नंबर 3, अब्दुल नबी, मखदूम अल मुल्क, जस्ट राइट सुल्तानपुरी. 4 लोग. These four people defined what Akbar would be in the first 20 years of his life. 2025. Mehman Aga took control of the home affairs, civil, interior affairs. Bairam Khan took care of the military affairs. Abdul Nabi was his tutor, and so was Sultanpuri. Abdul Nabi and Sultanpuri were those teachers who will agree to Akbar to whatever he says. For example, Akbar always had one prominent question to ask to his tutors. The question was, how many times can I marry? The answer was simple, as many times as you can, sir. So he says, my mother says only once. Maximally, if you have 2, maybe, but 1 is the perfect number. Mother is Shia, she's good. So Abdul Nabi says, in the scriptures, you can marry 4 times, sir. All right. But then Akbar says, what if I want to marry the 5th time? So he says, very nice. Marry the 5th time. Keep her, do not give her the status of wife. Kill the first. fifth becomes fourth. And this idea Akbar is giving. So imagine a child, he's saying that, okay, if I kill one, can she become fourth? Yeah, sir, why not? So rather than teaching him, these scholars are agreeing with him. And Akbar will take revenge. For all his wrong teachings, Akbar will take revenge. Not from these two people only. He will take revenge from the whole Muslim community. You will see. That is why Akbar is not a very revered emperor when it comes to Islamic community. You will see. Aaj to nahi ho payega, but anyway. Mehman Aga and Bairam Khan, these two people controlled Akbar's policy, and Abdul Nabi and Sultan Puri were the tutors. The first 6 years, 1556 to 1561, when Bairam Khan and Mehman Aga were the strongest, this time period was called the petticoat government. Why? It was called petticoat government because it was taken care of by a woman. Mehman Aga, internal affairs. Bairam Khan was put as the guardian of Akbar by Humayun himself. Theek? And it is he who helped win the second battle of Panipat. 1561. So he was the one who made Akbar respectful in the eyes of the people because Akbar was only 13 and a half. The battle happens between Bairam Khan and Hemu. This Hemu, who called himself a Hindu, wanted to revive Hinduism, took the title of Vikramaditya. He called himself Vikramaditya. However, he was a barber by caste. Barber. He was a mercenary who would kill if you pay him. That was Hemu for you. Hemu dies. Akbar's emperorship is now strengthened. But Akbar does not like to be controlled. So Akbar asks these tutors, what should I do? These are very bad teachers. Mehman Aga is sidelined because Mehman Aga has a son, Adam Khan. The opportunity comes in front of the eyes of Akbar when Adam Khan commits a mistake. Adam Khan kills one of the governors, military commanders of Akbar. So what does Akbar do? He kills Adam Khan. When he kills Adam Khan, Mehman Aga goes under depression and then she is not to be seen. She dies after that. One problem solved. Mehman Aga is taken care of because she goes in depression. If you have seen Jodha Akbar, you have seen this scene when Adam Khan is been thrown, no? But they have not shown you one thing. That when he was thrown, Akbar abused. In Hindi. The abuse, the word we still use, starts with G, ends with U. Small. What did you learn? Exactly. Hindi was spoken. Akbar spoke Hindi. वहाँ खड़ा होकर के and man reft them and them short them नहीं करता था वो. He would speak proper Hindi. Hindi was spoken by him. Hindi was already popular in the Akbar's court. Remember that. Not that Hindi, in that Hindi. आप क्या कर रहे हैं वाला हिंदी नहीं. भाई बहन वाली गाली. Adam Khan was taken care of. Now Bairam Khan has to be taken care of. So Bairam Khan was sent to Hajj by Akbar. Sent to Hajj. चलो जाओ भैया बाबा खान बाबा go for Hajj. ठीक? Sent to Hajj. On the way in Gujarat, he was killed by certain Afghan mercenaries Afghan mercenaries killed him. Bahram Khan is also dead. Now we take the course of history with story together and will make a statement. And the statement is simple. Akbar का मतलब ही great होता है. So Akbar was not Akbar. Akbar's name was Ruknuddin. He was Ruknuddin. So who makes Akbar Akbar? Akbar was made Akbar by 4 kids and 1 old man. There are 4 small children in his life, not his children. 4 kids and 1 old man who makes Akbar Akbar. So when you study about Akbar, you do not get questions. But when you study about the people who made Akbar, you get all the questions. So the best way of learning Akbar is not to learn Akbar. And you will see. Kaise? When Bahram Khan died, so you will have to count the number of those four kids. Whenever I will give you that name, you will say, Acha, this is the first. I will tell you. 4 kids you have to count. Bahram Khan, widow. If you remember lecture number 5, I taught you, there is one community in Mewat. Every Mughal emperor will like to marry in that community, because if you do not marry, the Rajputs will come and kill you. Meos. The widow was a Meos. Salima Begum. She was a Mewati Muslim. Jatni thi. And she got very angry. She told Akbar, because of you, my husband is no more. She's very angry. Now remember, Akbar is dyslexic. He does not understand these paitra. So he asks a simple question, what do you want? Why are you angry? Are you angry because your husband is dead? Or are you angry because you are a widow? Because if that is the case, Akbar takes the widow of Bahram Khan as the wife. And let me tell you, Abdul Nabi, he is a person without a father. He's an orphan in that sense. He has taken care of by these old people and he trusts these old people. Sultan Puri and Abdul Nabi, whatever they have taught him, no, he loves to listen to. And he follows it verbatim. He follows so verbatim that Akbar ends up marrying 3,000 patniyan. That is the range of wives that he had. So soch ke dekho, when at an old age, when he will come to know that his tutors were actually lying to him, what will he do with those tutors? Because there are 2 kinds of romantic lovers, Babu. एक who will let go, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, टेडी बियर ही था, 50 रुपया का नुकसान हुआ. The other one is जिस आईने में तेरी सूरत ना दिखे वो शीशा तोड़ देंगे हम. Revengeful type. Akbar is second category. And you will see this widow with Bahram Khan had a 4-year-old child. So here comes the first child. Abdul Rahim. Akbar says, don't worry, since I am marrying you, I will adopt this child. I will not kill this child. He will become my foster son. Abdul Rahim Khane Khana. The first kid in the life of Akbar, who writes, Rahiman Dhaga Prem Ka. Mat Todo Chitkaye. It's a doha. So how did he know such a beautiful doha, Apabranch? Because mother is Jatni from Mewat. And how does he know Persian? Because he's Akbar's son. He knows both the languages. Apabranch. Abdul Rahim Khan Khana. This title was only given to two people. One is Bairam Khan, the other is Abdul Rahim. Nobody else in the entire history of Mughal India has got this title after him. Abdul Rahim Khan Khana, Khan of Khans. So he is the first kid. That is important. He will become very important in the life. Everybody is dead. मैं यहीं रुक जाता हूं आज. I'll stop here. We will continue after this in the next class because I have a class at 2. So that is all for today.